Uh,
Hey Ethan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're in the washroom once again, I see, eh?
I had connection issues.
I'm joking, I'm joking. All right, let's start the call. All right, so I'm quickly sharing my screen. All right, can you see my screen? You can hear me just fine?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, perfect. So welcome to Dr. Joe's writing class. My name is Teacher Daniel. Today is May 8th, 2024, and let's learn some writing. So first things first, let's take up the homework from last week. So if you could send in your summary, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. All right. Holden visits New York City. In his apartment, he does some shady things. He did indeed. He goes to Central Park and sees children playing, which reminds him of his old innocence as a child. He also thinks about his relationships, including Phoebe, his sister, who he misses a lot. Yeah. So
It wasn't really anything because that whole part was just him getting freaky in like the
yeah,
hotel room.
yeah. I know, but that's what I'm trying to say. So Holden, right, like the main character, he's very dysfunctional, but later on in the book you'll understand more as to why. Like things will start to make sense, right? In the first, it was kind of like The Great Gatsby. At first, nothing makes sense, but then when you reach the end, you're like, oh, okay, I see. All right, and
Okay.
obviously you're in grade 10, like you could read these more, mature books. We're not going to be reading, I don't know. We're going like these books. The reason why I picked them is because they have very good themes behind them. Like they're very meaningful in that sense. Yes, some of the reads might be uncomfortable or whatever, but you do you understand what I kind of mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the writing exercise for today. So take around 15 minutes, so like XX 55, and let me just copy this over. All right. So imagine, let me actually make this larger too. Imagine a world where time is a tangible commodity, a currency exchanged and traded like any other. Write a story set in this world where individuals can buy, sell, and even steal time to extend their own lives or grant others a moment of respite. Explore the societal implications of such a system, delving into disparities between the wealthy who hoard time and the impoverished who struggle to afford even a fleeting moment. Consider the moral dilemmas faced by characters as they navigate this complex web of time, and ultimately, whether they discover that true wealth lies not in the accumulation of minutes and hours, but in the moments shared with others. So I'm pretty sure there was a movie very similar to this.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, so kind of go off that as well. And also, maybe a good idea would be try to look at maybe write a story of a perspective from someone who's has plenty of time and someone who's trying, like struggling, like every moment trying to get more, like working like crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's very there, like you could also go off the movie too. So I'll give you up until XX 55. Do you have any questions?
No.
No? All right, you can start now.
Go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. just checking in, Ethan. Do you need a little bit more time or what's going on?
I'm almost finished.
Okay.
I sent it.
All right, thank you. Oh, it's the same document as last week. Okay. See. Loading. Okay. So, time. Something people had a lot of and others not so much. I was in the latter. Every day, I barely had enough time to get paid. It was an evil system. Really. If I didn't work, I'd die. I barely had enough time to survive the day. I was basically a slave. I had heard that back then, everyone had a random amount of time that only ended when they reached a certain age or died of something unnatural. Some say you died automatically at 80, which is crazy because I've been alive for almost 200 years, and some people have been here. Uh, Instead of and, I would transition into it like this. So add an ellipse, like 3. Some people have been alive for almost 1,000. Okay, that's just Google. I've had a hard life. I've had a hard life though. Not okay. Instead of though, this is like a filler word. You don't need to use that. Okay, just remove it. And not a single day wasn't spent working over these 200 years. It's not like I don't like my job. I don't love it, but I get by. It's just the fact that if I stop my job, I die. And while 200 years sounds like a lot, I haven't been able to have and much fun till now. It was a dark day. I was walking near a bar that some rich folk like to hang around to escape their fancy lives. Sometimes they would be generous and give me a day or two. One of my lucky friends got a year from some random man. This time, however, as I passed by, I suddenly heard a loud bang. I ducked immediately, dying from a stray bullet. Oh, dying from a stray bullet in a robbery was not the way to go out after 200 years. I started to army crawl towards the alley. When I reached it, I laid against the wall and prayed that whoever shot that bullet would stay away. All of a sudden, the employee door burst open. A man in a trench coat stumbled out, holding his neck. I assumed this guy had been shot. He started coming over to me. I backed up, not knowing what to do. All of a sudden, he shot out and he shot out and grasped my wrist. I recoiled, but he had an iron grip. Then he looked at me and whispered, "Run," before collapsing. I didn't need a second warning. I sprinted as fast as I could. It was until 4 blocks away that I checked my timer on my wrist. That's when I saw it. I had gone from 100 hours to 100 years. I was rich. When I got home, I stared into the ceiling and wondered, what would I do with all this time? I made up a plan. The next day, I immediately gave some years to people I trusted. My friend Pablo, my parents who were still working after 230 years, my grandpa. I hid the time under my collar and worked for another few days until I decided to quit. I was going to live lavishly. First went to a casino. Who wouldn't? I bet 1 year on black, and to my delight, it hit. Then I bet 2, and the number kept going higher and higher. I made 20 years profit from 1 year. My luck was through the roof. I was giddy inside as I left the casino. Possibilities were endless. Nice. Very interesting. So I like how you went with that. That was very creative. Okay. So let's continue. So reading we'll do only if we have time. Let's jump to a writing lesson. So as you remember, what did we do last week?
Persuasive? I don't remember.
Sorry?
I don't remember. I think it was persuasive essay or something.
No, it was reflective journaling, okay?
Reflect. Oh, my bad.
Let me actually reshare my screen because I'm going to show you a video on reflective journaling that I think actually is a very, very good.
Okay.
Reshare, that's good. All right, so just you remember what reflective journaling is. I don't need to go through these slides, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. So essentially this video, so this is the last week we're going to focus on reflective journaling. But this video is very, very interesting and it really shows you where you can take what's it called? Take writing. So let me quickly, it's loading, where you can really go with reflective writing. I want you to pay close attention because
Earn so much Canadian Tire money, you'll wonder if it's a mistake. The Triangle Max Stack event starts May 9th.
all right.
In this video, you'll be introduced to reflective writing and some techniques to help you make the most of the reflection process. Throughout your degree, you'll be asked to reflect on theories you learn and experiences you have. Reflection allows you to look back on something and think deeply about it. By analysing, questioning and evaluating the experience, you'll develop new insights and perspectives. Often this will in turn challenge your beliefs and affect your future actions. Reflective writing is a chance to think critically about how an experience made you feel and how this connects to your personal beliefs. We all have our own perspectives that we bring to any situation, which in turn affects how we see it. This process also gives you an opportunity to connect these experiences, feelings, and beliefs to theory and research. You can then use these ideas in combination to inform how you might act or think differently in the future. But be careful. One of the dangers when asked to write a reflective piece is to dedicate too much of your word count to simply describing the experience, rather than dedicating effort towards interpreting and evaluating it. The reflection then simply becomes a recount of what happened or a repeat of what you've studied. To avoid this, remember, your personal perspective is important. Unlike other types of writing, reflective writing is a chance for you to write about your feelings and experiences in the first person. To be sure your reflective writing piece goes deeper than simply describing the event, try considering your experience in relation to this model, DIEP. First, describe what happened. This could be a single incident or a highlight from that week's lecture or reading. You don't need to recall the entire experience, just a key aspect of the experience itself. Then, interpret the event. Consider what the experience might mean. How did it make you feel? How does it relate to other things you've learned? What new insights have you gained from it? Next, evaluate how beneficial or useful the experience has been. Finally, outline a plan for how the experience may impact on your thinking and behaviour in the future. Being able to write in this way takes time and practice. Start by brainstorming aspects of your experience first, then any relevant theories you've studied. Next, add related past experiences or personal beliefs. Once you've finished brainstorming, try making connections between the ideas. This final step will help you identify a theme. Doing this first will give you the best chance of producing a connected narrative where your experience, interpretations, evaluations, and plans are presented in a cohesive way. By focusing on a theme rather than the entire experience or entire reading or lecture, you'll be able to go into more depth in your reflection and dedicate more word count to your perspective and insights. If you have time, and already have a topic to write about, pause the video here to start your own brainstorm and find a theme to focus on. Once you've identified your theme, you're ready to write. We're going to look at 2 sample paragraphs and review them against the DIEP reflective writing model. Pause the video here, read the 2 paragraphs and ask yourself, is one more effective than the other? If so, how? Why?
All right, so if you could read this out, that would be great. Ethan?
Yeah, well, I understand. Hello?
Yeah, can you read the paragraph?
Oh. When writing a technical note during my internship, I was able to use my rolling stock knowledge to apply fleet braking performance characteristics as documented in the fleet standards and track geometry as defined by drawings to identify worst case stopping distances. It was my first time to write a technical note. The senior engineers working for it gave me guidance throughout the process. However, upon the amount of comments on my first draft, I felt disheartened. But once I read through them, I realized they were all worthy additions to be the deliverable.
All right, so now we're gonna read the second one. I'm just gonna continue it. A moment. Why is it not working? There we go. Okay, here's number 2. Read this one. Ethan?
While I am confident in my technical knowledge and understanding, writing technical documents is a skill I hope to develop further. When writing a technical note during my internship, I was able to use my rolling stock knowledge to apply fleet braking performance characteristics as documented in the fleet standards and track geometry as defined by drawings to identify worst case stopping distances. And this was my first technical note. I found it challenging to write such a short technical document with knowledge from start to finish and contain all the necessary information. The senior engineers working for it gave me guidance to the process, which gave me more confidence that I felt stimulated to complete the task. However, upon seeing the amount of comments on my first draft, I felt disheartened. But once I read through them, I realized they were all worthy additions to the deliverable. It reminded me that I was able to apply the fleet standards well. I need to develop my technical writing skills further. I am very interested in developing self-awareness in the workplace. And so I've taken the comments on board and hope to work with my manager to identify additional opportunities to receive feedback on my work.
I see, I see. So which one would you say is better?
Honestly, I think the first one for some parts, because the second one is like too much.
Okay, interesting, interesting. I see what you mean, but in
Especially
my
that last paragraph. That last paragraph is too much for me.
yeah, I understand, but in my opinion, I think number two is better, even though, like, yes, it is kind of overkill, but either way, I think two is better, but let's see what they say. Okay? All right.
Paragraph 2 is a much more in-depth reflection than the first. The sentences highlighted in bold in the second paragraph are additional points that were missing from the first. In the second paragraph, the author has identified their focus or theme, in this case, their experience of writing their first technical document in the workplace. They've written about how the experience felt and connected this to theory. They've also identified an opportunity to develop further. The student who wrote the second paragraph will have a much deeper understanding of the experience and how they can use it to shape their own development in the future. Now, let's take a closer look at the language they used to demonstrate this deeper reflection. They've shown how the experience made them feel with language such as I found and I felt, and evaluated the experience with statements such as which gave me and it reminded me. Furthermore, their plans for the future are highlighted using language such as I need to, I'm very interested in developing, and I hope to. To be sure you have a balance of ideas and have not dedicated too much of your word count to simply describing the experience, try colour coding your description, interpretation, evaluation and plan in 4 different colours. Here, the description is highlighted in blue, the interpretation in red, the evaluation in green, and the plan in yellow. This allows us to easily see the balance between these 4 elements. This is a great technique to try while editing your document. The example we've just analysed focuses on an experience, but the technique is equally effective when reflecting on lectures, readings, and theories. Many students who've been asked to write reflectively for an assignment have found it so beneficial that they've continued the practice even after the subject is finished. So, we've looked at how to approach reflective writing through an initial brainstorming phase. We've also applied the DIEP model to identify new insights. You're now ready to begin the process yourself. If you would like more detailed information on reflective writing style and how to avoid common mistakes, go.
All right. So as you can see, she basically dove in more into like a different style you could write with, and you could use it. It's up to you. But it's very interesting what she said. Like you see how the writing is completely different to comparing like what you would do for persuasive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably the last week we're gonna do reflective writing, but like I said, just like a longer unit, just because it's so different in that sense. Okay. So, let's do some reflective writing, and this is also going to focus a little bit on the future. Well, it's mainly the future. I just want to see how we could do this. So, write about the goals you want to achieve in the next year, next 5 years, and even the next 10 years. So, I want you to reflect what you're doing towards those goals, right? How you could um, improve it, and what are your goals in the future, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So if you have any questions, I'm here. If not, you can start now. All right, Ethan, just checking in. You still writing?
I'm about to turn it in a few seconds.
Okay. All right, Ethan, can you send in your writing? I don't know if you maybe forgot or what happened, but
I just turned it.
oh, okay. All right. So let's take it up. All right, from Ethan. There are many things I want to achieve over the years. One of them is short term. I want to make honors for pre-calculus next year. I am 2% away from making the grade, and I need to. Okay, so here I'd add a comma right here. Oh, what did I just do? There we go. Making the grade, and I need to study hard for my finals to get that 2%, not make that 2%, right? So get that 2%. I need to do the same for chemistry as well. So here, no comma, which is much harder. I really hate chemistry. A long-term goal, however, is to make it into a good college. So to make it into a good college. Not Ivy League, but something that is respectable. Why are you saying not Ivy League? What's stopping you?
Not Ivy League specifically. Like if I wanted to, I would. Like if I could, I would, but not specifically just Ivy.
So would you go for Ivy League or no?
I mean, I could try, but I mean,
Hey,
I'm trying, but
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. All right,
yeah,
so try, Maybe
okay,
some people get into Harvard and they don't get into any other school. It's very strange. So that's what it is. So my longest my long my longest goal my
all
longest
right,
term goal. Okay, I see what you mean. My trying to find a way to reword this. My all-time goal. I think that's what you're trying to say. My all-time goal, because that's like your dream essentially, right? My all-time goal is to buy my dream car, a Lexus LFA. Great choice. Great choice. Have you watched Fast and Furious 5?
I think so. Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
so
them.
yeah. I watched I that franchise was great. So yeah, Lexus LFA, that's at the end of the movie, Hans,
Yeah,
he drove it. So great car. I really like the Lexus LFA too. Um but solid. Good pick. I love the sound of its engine. Yeah, the sound is amazing. It really is. That's the best part of the car. It just sounds great.
yeah.
I have found multiple methods of achieving, not to achieving, of achieving my short-term goals. I've come up with a system to have fun and study at the same time, which allows me to study for hours on end. Really? That's interesting. What system is that?
It's like um, ready for like 30 and then play for 10, and then again
Study? Sorry, can you repeat that?
study for like 30 and then play for 10.
Oh, I think that's called Pomodoro method. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very popular. Okay, so that's good. For homework, what I want you to do, so book of the day, uh check it out. I think I'll have to change it, but yeah. Book of the day, and I want you to finish vocab portion of this lesson, okay?
Okay.
All right. So thank you so much for learning with Dr. Joe's Academy, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
All
Take
right.
care.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.